All right, shock your mock. Let's go.
All right, Brent. Well, this year we did something. We did a lot of things different, obviously, but we also featured new theme songs every single day, courtesy of AI. And this one is no different. I sent it to the studio, to the Beat Laboratory. We had a little viewing party, I guess. We had some guys, in the custody corner over there that listened to it already, and they said that it's weird. So that's all
They've all been a little bit weird. So the problem is yesterday's was awful.
Last year, it left a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah.
I came back with vengeance. I think we have Pop today, and it's going to be featuring a male AI bot, I believe.
Oh. I'm kind of tired of the lady.
Yeah, we had, Brent, careful now, but yeah, we had a lot of female singers on our Shock Your Mock songs.
Yeah.
It's going to get some guys.
Don't just clip that out. Please, just the context.
Casey Kurtz, if you're listening, clip that out, please. I want to see how that pans out for Brent. All right, so without further ado, Brent, for, the last time this week, let's hit that track.
Wake up, hear the call. Brent and Austin playing ball. Just
oh, yeah.
Come on, stand tall. Future stars, they won't let us fall. Shock your mock, the crowd's in a fever. Banger hits, we are true believers. Dancing in the stands, we're the noisemakers. Cheering loud, we're the real game changers.
Yeah,
that
we
doesn't
are.
rhyme, though. Oh, that's how you're going to end it?
I like that.
That's the mic drop?
That was a mic drop.
We're some noisemakers? Calls game changers? Changers and makers? Yeah, see, this is why I have to do slam poetry by myself, Brent, because you can't have these AI bots doing it for me.
AI cannot duplicate. Our jobs are safe. For now.
Hey, if anything Shock Your Mock has proven, it's, hey, AI, don't worry about it.
Yeah,
all this talk and all the political don't even worry about it. It's fine. We'll be all right, everybody. Okay.
So our two contestants are Jake Scott and Steve Boston.
Yeah.
Jake, by the way, I hope he digs a little deeper on his passwords than his handle. Jake_Scott 1234.
Hey man, he was
whatever it takes.
He must have been in a rush. Is this Jake's? Do we know who this is? Quick, I can look it up here too.
This is Jake's.
Give them the credit that they deserve. Okay, this is Jake's, Brent. Maybe you're feeling a little better about this pick today, since I can maybe talk you into a little bit of getting a corner in the first round if wide receiver doesn't fall to you.
I've been doing a lot more work on the corner. I know other people have for a while, but now that the odds are going up,
yeah.
And I was trying to Delphonic's point, try to avoid it at all costs.
Yep.
This guy might be my favorite one.
Okay.
And I know he's been a lot of favorite. I know that's not breaking news. I think Terry and Arnold and Quinyon Mitchell are kind of the two guys.
Yeah. Does the small school prospect scare you?
Not really.
Okay.
Not really. Not seeing all the stuff here.
Okay.
I think this guy has star potential. Again, Arnold I think is a fine pick too.
Yep.
But I like this pick.
Okay. Well, Brent, Quinyon Mitchell, cornerback out of Toledo, pick number 17. No trades in this draft. You got to appreciate that as well. Brent, you know what I've done? I've done the due diligence. I've put in the man hours, athleticism score, and production score combined. Gave him the highest numbers of any highest rated cornerback in this year's draft.
All right.
And that's Next Gen Stats, and that's me copying and pasting that and then putting it on my email here where I'm reading it from. So I am doing the hard work. 6 feet, 195, ran a 4.3, 338-inch vertical. NFL comparison is Steve Nelson. I put a question mark because don't remember Steve Nelson that much. He might still be playing.
Only problem
Steven
with
Nelson.
this guy.
Yeah. Brent, I hope you're hungry because you know what he's got? He's got a gumbo of traits. He's got the size, the strength, and the speed to fill up the pot.
It would really help us if we're in the NFC South and had to play New Orleans a couple of times.
It's a good point. It's a good point. Brent, in the famous words of Jimmy Buffett, he once said, "I will play for Gumbo." Maybe the Jaguars will pay for Gumbo, as Quinyon Mitchell could fall to them. They say he's built like a running back, tackles like a safety, and has the ball skills of a cornerback. Well, I hope so.
Well, let's hope so.
Let's hope so. And keep in mind, some people out there, the whole small school thing. Dominic Rhodes-Camardi was a guy that came out of Tennessee State that we played against when I was way back in the day, and he did just fine.
Yeah, and Toledo's not like super small school, but it definitely, obviously, outside the Power 5 is what gets people. And
the reason why I say Dominic Rhodes-Camardi because he was a first-round pick as well from Tennessee State.
Do you have a favorite corner right now after doing all this? Like, is there one that...
honestly... I'm kind of on the same boat with you where I don't think corner in terms of a small school really matters because, like, yeah, you're not going against the best wide receivers per se, but the guy in terms of speed, athleticism, he's a beast.
Yeah, he's good. And I like him. Again, I think Arnold coming from Alabama makes some sense too, but I think this guy might have more upside because he's less known.
So,
right? And so from a star standpoint, I feel like he could be, hey, that could be like a steal at 17.
So here's how I feel. I feel like Arnold is the safer play.
Yeah.
And you know what you're getting, and it's going to be a quality corner. But I feel like the ultimate, like, one day, the boom, the Sauce Gardners of the world, call him what you want him, could be this guy.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay.
And I like that.
Yeah, no,
my job ain't on the line.
Exactly.
I got to say that was dumb in 2 years.
We're just going to scrub this, and it'll never exist again. Brent, pick number 48. I mean, we came with you on Quinion Mitchell, sir, but now pick number 48, we're going, one would think, depth.
I mean, there's a
depth here, right?
I mean, this guy's not playing week 1 or week 8 and hopefully not week 17.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he has championship pedigree if he played on the basketball team.
Yeah. 6'3", 317, 33 and 1.5 inch arms, 9 inch hands. That's going to be a Trent Baalke Blue Light special. We know that. Ran a 5 flat, which is pretty impressive for his size in the 40-yard dash. 36-inch vertical, which is also pretty impressive.
Very impressive.
And then 8'6" in the broad. So the guy could be a stud in basketball, but be an amateur in hopscotch. I guess one would conclude there.
But the vertical was pretty good.
Vertical's good.
We've had guys his size jumping 25 inches.
No, for sure. Just getting out. Not necessarily the best. But 4-year starter. Brent, they say that he has great stance, great posture, and great footwork. To play on the interior, according to some scouts. But scouts saying that and this is what I didn't really get, he lacks, I guess, the height. He lacks size and length, which I guess 6'3" could be on the shorter side.
We've seen some of the offensive, the arms go like 34 and a half, and so there are longer players than even him. But
and a major issue for this guy that scouts are saying as well that he might get drafted by the Rams, I guess, is that the helmet comes before his hands, so he leads with his head a lot. Like a ram.
That could be a problem.
I mean, I did that too. And it turned out okay.
This is interesting. Look how long this guy played in college. And this is what you're getting now out of the draft sometimes. He redshirted in 2018, started at right guard in 2019, didn't play in 2020 because of COVID, started at right guard in 2021, 2022 started at right guard, 2023 started at right guard.
So Christian Haynes has his doctorate as well.
I mean, 6 years. And by the way, all at the same school, which is something to be said, and all at the same position. He's truly a right guard.
Yeah.
And if you try to put him somewhere else, I think you're playing with fire a little bit. It doesn't look like he's played anywhere else. So, but I like the experience. Like, do you look at a guy who's played that long in school now as a positive or as a negative? Older guy, good. Older guy, bad. What do you think?
No, I mean, I think the older guys are good. I'm not opposed to older guys, Brent. I like older guys. Come on now. I just feel like...
By the way, I'm not going to say old. I'm talking like probably 24.
Yeah, but I just think of like a maturity aspect, a locker room asset. I think if a guy's had more experience in college, it's only going to be better.
Especially at that position, because what I look at also is from that position, you're more physically mature.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably got kids, probably got grandkids that long in college.
So many guys now come out at 20, 21 years old.
Yeah.
Remember, Trevor came out at 21 years old.
Yep.
So anyway, listen, I don't mind the guard play. I don't love it in the second round.
Yeah.
This doesn't feel like...
No, I mean, and I'm with you on this. It's just you have other needs to address. Wide receiver would be one of them. Edge could be another one. And decide you went with a depth pick at 48. Yeah, I'm with you on that one, Brent.
The next one, man, is a steal if you get him at 96.
So Tavondre Sweat, defensive tackle from the Texas Longhorns. Brent, real quick, what your thoughts before I dive into the numbers?
Well, we drop in the keys in the front office before we get in. There's a key drop.
Yep.
Because this didn't turn out well the last couple of weeks.
It did
Sweat's
not.
a guy that was a little overweight at times. He's dropped because of the DUI. But he's a real talent.
Yeah.
And there's no way in hell anybody's getting him at 96, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So if you did, congratulations, and we'll take the potential character things.
Yeah, so 6'4", 336 pounds, 33 and 1/4 arms. That's going to be a Trent Baalke Blue Light special. Scouts says that he uses wingspan well, 5'2", 7 in the 40. 26-inch vertical, but hey, big boy. Big boy Outland Trophy winner and also Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year. And we know how I feel about that. That's almost like being called Producer of the Year in Action Sports Jack's 24/7 Network. What does that mean? You probably came up here for 3 days and became the Producer of the Year because we are interchanging like you wouldn't believe. Not saying it's a bad thing.
No.
I'm just saying if you have the title, it's like winning Defensive Player of the Year in Big 12. Deep bench. So a scout said he's not going to get single blocked, so offenses have to game plan around him, especially going to eat up all the inside running game. I mean, this is a guy that you feel like you can kind of plug and play right away, Brent, and he's going to make a difference.
Yeah, listen, again, he'd be fantastic in that mold.
Do the off-the-field issues hamper him falling down
Not a 96.
Yeah.
Not a 96.
Yeah. Skip's going to drive him around if it comes down to it.
That's right.
Yeah.
You'll deal with it at 96.
Shout out to Skip. Yeah.
Listen, I mean, you have a couple of things. It doesn't mean you're going to be a problem. Like, it made a couple bad choices. It's concerning. I think I saw, again, Jeremiah, I think, answered this question. You can tell if there's going to be a lot of Zoom calls going on around this guy to make sure some of the things that have happened with him for these last couple of months aren't a pattern of what's going to happen down the road. So probably for some, I bet he's been red flagged.
No, for sure. And once again, it's like I always say, you have to ask, does the talent outweigh the distraction? I think here it will. So I don't think he falls to 96. I agree with you here, Brent. But hey, it's fun to talk about. Pick number 114. We're going with Notre Dame Blake Fisher, 6'6", 34 and 3/8-inch arms. Brent, we just said screw Trevor Lawrence. We're not taking a wide receiver this year.
Yeah, I know. The wide receiver thing is a problem, but I don't mind in these middle rounds going offensive line. I don't mind offensive tackle either in trying to hit something.
Yep.
And this guy's a big dude now.
This guy is a big dude, comes from a pretty good university in terms of offensive lineman, one would say, at Notre Dame, 310 pounds, had a 28-inch on the vertical. Who really cares when you're that big? This guy has all the athletic tools to give you. The only downside, and Brent, we've talked about this a little bit with this guy before, but there's cows in the pasture. There's chickens coming home to roost. The pigs haven't been fed. Trevor Lawrence is on his back, and he wants out of Jacksonville because this guy is the last one out of his stands to do his chores. That's what scouts are saying.
That's not good.
Exact quote. Not the first part. Not everything I just said. I'm saying last to do his chores. That was a quote.
So you figure a quick pass rusher, which there's a lot of them, are going to get a leg up on.
Yeah, but once again, a guy you can bring in, develop a little bit. Yeah. Hopefully he learns how to do his chores in a more reasonable time.
Yes.
Right?
If he wants to get paid.
If you want to get paid, and hey, you got to do it in that Jacksonville Sun, so have fun with that as well.
I'm fine here. And by the way, some projections have him in rounds 2 or 3.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're getting this guy in the middle rounds at 4 would be pretty good. Here's your receiver, finally.
Hey, we got a receiver. Javon Baker. Brent ran a 4.35, has an athletic man score of 3rd overall, and is a detailed route runner who leans on physicality at the top of his route to beat handsy cornerbacks across their face, crisp angles out of stems and breaks, physical at the top of the roots, ate up one-on-one matchups throughout the week at the Senior Bowl. Whoops! Sorry, that's Terry McLaurin's draft profile I just read. My bad. Hang on.
That's the Hamby comp. Javon Baker out of UCF, not UFC.
Hold on. Sorry.
Terry McLaurin.
I just read Terry McLaurin's. I just read Scary Terry's draft combine profile. Javon Baker. Yeah, we'll see. That's all I'm going to say about that, Brent.
Yeah, I think we've had enough on Baker.
Hamby, hopefully you're listening to that, by the way. That was for you.
That was a great draft profile.
Thank you very much.
For McLaurin.
Pick number 153, the 25th Tyler Davis to play in the NFL, it seems like. Defensive lineman out of Clemson. He rocked number 13, Brent, so he's got some swag to him. Keep that in mind. He's from Apopka. 6'2", 301, 31 and 1/4-inch arms. Ran a 5 flat. 28.5-inch vertical, bench pressed it 29 times. People say he's going to be a 4.3 nose tackle.
Yeah, listen, again, this is fine down there.
Undersized, obviously a little bit. I mean, 6'2", 301 for a defensive tackle, especially a nose, is a little small.
Should be a crime to say 6'2", 301 is undersized.
I know, and for that position, maybe the arms are a little on the short side as well. But we call this guy a Julia Roberts type, where if Trent Baalke's Richard Gere, you got them hungry eyes. Maybe you can make this guy into something that people can't envision.
That'll be good. This is a new guy. New guy joins the chat.
Yeah, Stone. Go ahead and take this one, Brent. Sion
Vaki?
Sion Vaki? Yeah, that sounds legit. Sion Vaki.
Why don't they do pronunciations in this on the draft profiles?
They really should. I like that. So, Sion Vaki, 5'11", 210, 29 and 1/8 inch arms, and 8'5" and ace hands. So, like,
I don't know. Is that we haven't had a lot of safety talk? Where's the measurable length of a safety? Is it
okay? Well, I'm not going to lie,
small.
Brent. I haven't seen a lot of 29s in the arms category.
Yeah.
Like, not at all, really. He ran a 4.62, 39-inch vertical, and 10.5 on the broad jump. Also bench pressed 225 20 times, which is actually pretty impressive. He's a gamer who's going to help his team win. Carries a thick frame, good upper body power with heavy hands, productive tackler with nose for the ball on coverage teams, works eyes on the quarterback to route as a split safety. Back pedal is sluggish, fails to gain enough ground. I mean, it's going to be a depth pick, special teams guy.
Yeah.
Take the you want.
And yeah, I mean, safety, that makes some sense down there to try to take a little shot in the dark. He's a good tackler. I feel like the descriptions tell me he's an instinctual player.
Yeah.
A very good instinctual player, but he doesn't have a lot of the measurables from the arm length to the speed to other things, which I think, in the NFL, when you're talking about the elite of the elite, becomes a little bit of a problem.
For sure.
When the first two weaknesses are back pedal is sluggish and fails to gain enough ground as a safety, that might be trouble. Struggles to flip hips and run in phase with the route, that might be trouble.
Gotta
right?
flip those hips.
Like, I think the weaknesses here outweigh the strengths, but again, I understand also it's a flyer position. You're going to come with a lot of X marks.
You're taking him at 212.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about? And then pick 236. I didn't even break this guy down because I don't break down practice squad players. And you chose to pick a quarterback over an edge rusher. We're good.
It's Carter Bradley. It's Gus's son.
Oh, it's Gus Bradley's son?
Yeah.
I didn't know Gus Bradley had a son that played football, honestly.
Gus, Carter Bradley, who played at Providence, went to Toledo.
Brett, break him down, man. Sorry.
Then went to South Alabama.
Sorry.
He was actually in Jacksonville this week for a local workout with the Jags. So Carter Bradley trying to make his way in the NFL. Here's the deal. For Carter Bradley's sake, I wouldn't want him in the Jags organization.
Well, yeah.
You got to hear the fans. You got to hear everybody else.
There's
about everything
that, but
about,
also the depth.
He did that when he was in school.
Sure. And the depth's also kind of like, hey, man, you have Mac Jones now.
Yeah,
CJ Beathard's still here.
Yeah, I think I don't see them drafting a QB. They've had guys in, right? They said, Carter obviously was in on a local workout.
Sure.
And I think it was, who did we say the other day from South Carolina?
Spencer
Rattler.
Yeah.
He's been in. So, they might add. They're going to need quarterbacks, but you could also sign quarterbacks later on. It'll be interesting to see what they do there.
And we just said we're all set at edge, huh?
Yeah, here's the problem. Wide receiver, you waited way too long, in our opinion. And no edge guys.
No edge guys.
Way too early on the offensive guard.
Way too early for a depth pick.
And not realistic, in my opinion, on Tavondre Sweat, because I just don't think he's dropping that far.
There you go.
That'd be surprising to me if he drops that far.
There you go.
But, hey, it might beat the next one.
Well, the bar's pretty low, but let's see what we can do.
Draft number 2. Our buddy Steve Boston, who's been a loyal listener and viewer over the years.
Welcome, Steve.
Even adjusted to the new schedule, I think. What do you think?
0 trades. You like to see that?
I like that. Adonai Mitchell.
One could say maybe we reached a little bit, Brent, but let's get into it a little bit.
Seems like a bit of a reach.
Adonai Mitchell, 6'2", 205, ran a 4.34, 39.5-inch vertical, 11.4 on the broad jump. You know the NFL comparison. George Pickens. Get that same George Pickens taste without that same George Pickens name. Almost like a Coke to Coke Zero ratio. Brent, your thoughts?
Yeah, I think I've seen this guy so much on the back end of that first round. It does feel like jumping up. Does that make him a bad player? No. Everybody's going to have these guys judged a little bit different once you get past the top 3 and probably the top 4. It's a funny thing. I feel like it's the top 3 guys. Everybody knows their name. And then I think Brian Thomas Jr. is in his own little pond fishing. And then there's another pond of all these other guys, and you can take your pick where you want to put them.
Yeah, I just picture the whole Cheers theme song. Everybody knows it. The first 3 are Cheers. The next one is I don't know. So you're saying Brian Thomas Jr. is kind of in a room by himself? You think?
Is.
Yeah, he's gonna be the fourth one taken.
He's the Will Smith guy.
He's the Will Smith meme. He's the Will Smith meme, and then everybody else is like Jersey Shore. It's just
but doesn't
chaos.
it feel like it?
It does. Yes, I agree.
And then honestly, there's a bunch of guys and I don't know where the the line is between a Mitchell and let's just say Troy Franklin. They were seen all the way back at number 48, which has become a little bit of a sexy move on a lot of these mock drafts.
Yep.
So I feel like that's the other group. It's like boom, boom, boom.
And this is completely different positions. You remember back in the old show when I was trying to campaign for Trevon Merrick forever?
Yeah.
And then like he ends up, because I'm like, you got to trade up to get Trevon Merrick. Get Trevon Merrick. And then like he falls.
The best safety by a mile.
And he was like the third or fourth one taken.
Yeah.
And the Jaguars pass him up. I think they take Cisco then? Is that Cisco's?
That would have been probably might have been Taven Bryan draft.
Might have been Taven, whatever the case may be. But I just remember thinking like, wow, here, I mean, everyone thought this. Like draft experts thought Trevon Merrick, best safety in the draft. Well, he's like the third or fourth guy taken.
Yeah. By the way, it wasn't the Taven Bryan draft. It couldn't have been that far.
No.
But yeah, I hear you saying.
Yeah.
And that's
sometimes
the thing. I mean, again, group think versus GM think. Mm-hmm. I think Bill Belichick, by the way, we haven't talked about Bill Belichick. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow. But the Belichick stuff is, didn't he say like the real rumors start to come out like a week within the draft? Everything else is just agent speak.
Yeah. Well, and there is a rumor going on right now about Adonai Mitchell as well. And this was like, it's not from a credible source or anything, but it was the big talk of Twitter a couple days ago. Supposedly he's a type 1 diabetic, and it apparently affects his mood a lot. Where like, and once again, this is just from some random person, but they're saying how he's not coachable sometimes. Could be smoke, obviously.
Yeah.
I'm not putting too much into it, but it was on the Twitterverse, and everyone was talking about it.
Hey, here's the deal. I don't mind wide receiver at 17 at all if you love him. You better be right, though. That's the thing. See, that is the one this feels like, wait a minute, an organization that's been wrong, and nothing to do with that last report. An organization that's been wrong, a GM that's been wrong at wide receiver before. This, when you go outside the box a little bit, I think this is a bit outside the box in the top 20 than most people are saying. This feels very risky to me. I'd rather now trade back to 25 or 26 and then get him there.
Yeah, I mean, I get it, man. But once again, sometimes you got to risk it. We'll say risk it for the Trisket here because, like, I'm not sure if you're going to get a biscuit with Adonai Mitchell, but we get a Trisket.
But we like that you're going wide receiver.
Cut the check, Triscuits. We do, yeah, exactly, and that's the most important part, right, Brett? All right,
Triscuits are, can be good.
Yeah, but they usually need some kind of accoutrement.
Gotta have something
to go with them. Right? So let's get something to go with it. Let's get a TJ Tampa. How's that sound? Cornerback out of Iowa State.
So does Kuiper.
Okay, great. TJ Tampa sounds like a kid from Backyard Baseball. Shout out to Pablo Sanchez. Ever played Backyard Baseball? You know what I'm talking about?
Good call.
That's what he sounds like.
He does sound like that.
6'1", 189, 32 and 1/8 arms. Brent, your thoughts?
Listen, I had no real feel for this guy until I was listening to the Kuiper stuff, and I liked what he said about him. We talked a little bit about this a week ago, I think, down from Best Bet St. Augustine. That's where I was listening to it on the way down. And I think that's what you get presented at receiver and corner in this draft. You're going to have some guys that aren't groupthink or that are sleepery and you don't know as much about that are probably going to end up being the stars of the class or the best pick of a second round. This guy might fit. I don't mind him.
I like it. So physical cornerback with long arms and above average ability to ruin catch tries when he's in the vicinity. And also he has a healthy dose, take 2 in the morning, a healthy dose of suspicion to sniff out those trick plays.
I'll say this. The one thing about him, isn't he? They think he's better in zone. And is that a red flag under Ryan Nielsen's defense?
Could be.
If I remember correctly.
Yeah. Yep. No, I agree with that. Next pick, Brent, let's go to Duke. Pick number 96, Dwayne Carter, 6'2", 302, 33-inch arms, 4'9" in the 40. I've said it before, looks like he's 45 years old. Brent, your thoughts?
I've heard a little bit about Carter. Dwayne Carter, I'd like to call him.
Yeah.
But at 96, defensive tackle, I don't hate it. Again, I think you got to get younger there. I don't hate the pick. I've heard some pretty good things about Carter. Actually, he's not a name everybody's been floating around out there, but I think he's a good name.
So a really good kid, grown man as well. Bull rush can be salty as an interior rush or also maybe even a base end, some people are saying. But a cool thing I read about him, he embraces community work. He works with Habitat for Humanity, and every sack or tackle for loss that he had last season, money was donated to help out kids in the area by Duke.
That's pretty cool.
So pretty cool as well. And we talked about this before a little bit. May need a little more sand in his pants, but he has plenty of Smarties in his pants because he's a very intelligent individual.
He's the sand and smarty guy.
Sand and Smarty guy, Brent. You know what I'm talking about.
I like that.
All right, Mason McCormick. We're going interior offensive line.
So you've got some different names on here, which I do appreciate.
Games won and lost in the trenches, Brent. As you may remember, Mason McCormick, no relation to the McCormick Salt and Seasoning franchise.
That's true.
South Dakota State, 6'4", 309, 33 and 7/8 inch arms. That's going to be a Trent Bulky Blue Light special. And number 1 in athletic ranking out of any guard in Next Gen Stats. Your thoughts, Brent?
Yeah, I'm a little, we're going to get in the next couple of picks here. We got like Gene Smith enter the draft room.
Gotta be a hater, don't you?
I mean, we're going with the Jackrabbits.
Gotta be a hater, don't you?
And the Houston Christian whatevers.
Yeah.
Like,
I should see what their
I'm pretty sure South Dakota State's the Jackrabbits.
No, they are. Yeah, because I got invited to South Dakota State for a visit. And then
did you?
They rescinded, but
Jackrabbits a good nickname.
Yeah.
So listen, I'm cool here, and I like the need. I mean, here's the deal. What Steve's doing here is going needs. You can argue the guy, but you can't argue the needs. You got wide receiver, you got corner, you got defensive tackle, and now you go guard, which I think is priority on the offensive line. I don't mind offensive tackle in here, and I think he gets to that a little bit later. But you're going to have to take some shots here or there now in the middle rounds, I think, on the offensive line, trying to find replacements for Sheriff and potentially your next left tackle as well.
And you get the most athletic guard in the draft? Why not? McCormick plays with tightness in both of his upper and lower halves, though. So that's not going to be the best thing. But Brent plays with clean eyes. And if the teacher from Ferris Bueller's Day Off taught us in that one commercial, forget dry eyes, clear eyes is awesome. Remember those commercials?
I don't.
You don't remember Clear Eyes commercials?
It's the guy with the glasses. Yeah.
Can we go to the corner? You guys remember Clear Eyes commercials? Anybody? Can you get a thumbs up if you remember them?
Nope.
Oh, we got one thumb up.
I
think that was Nick in the Daytime did that. We have all the kids are hanging out back there right now. It's like that 70s show in the basement.
Well, it's lunchtime.
It is lunchtime. Good point. All right, Brent, next pick.
We got plenty of fruit snacks over there.
Next pick, we're going to pick 116. Out of your Houston Christian whatevers, Jalix Hunt. I said that he sounded like a Pokemon, and Brent said he didn't get it. So sounds like a rock from the stalactite family that you would maybe find in a cave. Jalix.
Yeah.
A Jalix rock.
That's good.
Better for you?
Better.
Cool.
I kind of like the name.
Thoughts? Well, I mean, yeah, first of all, I get to John.
Cool name.
Thoughts about getting an edge guy at pick 116 from a small school, bro?
Yeah, it's again taking a chance on it. I like it.
Okay, so Jalix Hunt, a little background real quick. We had him yesterday, I believe, or 2 days ago.
Yeah, a couple days ago.
But Jalix Hunt, 6'4", 34 and 3/8 inch arms. So that's going to be a Trent Bulky Blue Light special.
What's the length do on the edge? Like it
helps.
Like how much is it? I mean, obviously anywhere in the trenches, I think the length helps, right?
Yeah. 252 pounds, 10-inch hands, big dude. Ran a 4.64, fast dude. 37.5-inch vertical, athletic dude. 19 in the bench press, pretty strong dude. And 10.8 in the broad jump, athletic dude.
Nice combo there, the long arms and the speed.
Yeah, the biggest thing with this guy, and I think a lot of small school guys can attest to this, is lacks the traits to be a great edge rusher, right? Needs a lot of polish. Long legs and lean lowers allow blockers to punch him off balance. Take that for how you want. Struggles to stand his ground at the point of attack due to lack of play strength. Got to develop a little more, but he can bend and dip off the edge, but needs to develop more pass rush moves.
Just an idea, just so everybody can put this in perspective when you're talking about a player like this.
And by the way, Brent, a former safety.
Wow.
Wow.
I was thinking, so think about like Yasir Abdullah, who the Jags took last year, I think in the 5th round, maybe it was fifth round, first pick of the 5th round. And so he's a lighter guy, and actually he's lighter than this guy. So this guy's 252. Yasir's 237 coming out of school. He's 6'1". I think that's an inch shorter than Jalix here. 32 and 3/8 inch arms, and this dude's got almost 35-inch arms. Mm-hmm. Now, Yasir is a little quicker, 4.47 compared to 4.62. But I guess what I'm saying here is I like the idea of the length and the size and a little bit more weight, and you don't give up that much in speed.
Yeah.
You know? Mm-hmm. So you got a nice little combination package if, like you said, you can polish it up.
Yeah.
He's probably very raw from a Houston Christian standpoint.
No, without a doubt. But he has some physical attributes that you like. And once again, a development pick could be at 153. You're addressing the edge. I'm sorry, at 116. Yeah, I mean, I've seen worse picks out there, Brett. Pick 153 offensive tackle. I guess we're going all Texas today, huh? A lot of Texas guys.
Texas guys, yeah.
A lot of Texas guys. So we're going offensive line, offensive tackle. Pick 153. It's going to be Christian Jones, 6'5", 305, 34 and a half inch arms, Trent Bulky Boy Special, 10 and 5/8 inch hands. Somebody called Johnny Bench. This guy's got a catcher's mitt for a hand. And I assume he's got two hands, so he's got two catcher's mitts. Unless one is abnormally smaller, but I doubt that's going to be a thing. So yeah, big hands, ran a 5.04 in the 40. 20 reps in the bench press. Didn't jump though.
Huh.
What is he hiding?
Yeah. It's an offensive.
What are they not telling us, Brent?
I don't know.
I don't know, man. Okay. This guy, right tackle prospect with athletic limitations.
Heavy-handed guy. All right, we got to move quick.
Okay. Sorry.
Ring the bell for DeCamarion Richardson.
DeCamarion Richardson. We're going to Mississippi State, cornerback, and then finishing up with Evan Anderson, defensive tackle. I don't know how fast we have to move. Evan Anderson,
we got like
defensive tackle,
6'2",
FAU.
32 and 3/8 inch arms and a 4.34 40, by the way, for Richardson. Mm-hmm. So gifted athlete at the corner position. I don't mind taking a flyer on him. Overall, I kind of like this draft.
Yeah, I like this draft as well. I think it addresses more of the needs. I didn't have any of these picks be like, what are you thinking right there, sir? So if I'm going to vote, which I am taking this one.
I'm taking this one too. So we're in agreement. Again, I think the most critical you can be of this is probably Mitchell at that first one. But
yeah,
if you love him, you love him.
It's a need.
You better be right, is the thing I say. So we'll see if he's right. Did we, before we get out of here, did we check? So Steve Boston's moving on, by the way, the quarterfinals. We'll tell everybody who's moving on tomorrow.